Umaga. Good morning to all of our guests and all of our friends. We'd like to thank everyone for giving us the time to come back and present some of our action points from the previous hearing. We've been meeting with the different stakeholders in the month and a half that has passed, and we're happy to say that a lot of movement has happened, and gusto ho namin itong i-share sa mga kababayan natin. On our end, from our Facebook and Twitter feeds, we've noticed that unlike the previous months, there have been less, in fact, a steep decline in complaints regarding any incidences of missing load. So we just like to state that for the record, and we'll also ask NTC and DTI if they experience the same decline in terms of complaints. So formally, we'd like to call this hearing to order. This is our second hearing. This is tackling SRN 595, which basically tackles the phenomenon of missing load, or yung tinatawag po na nakaw load. We'd like to acknowledge our guests. Let me start with Undersecretary Castelo of DTI. Magandang umaga po. Good morning. From NTC, DEPCOM Caballos. Magandang umaga po, as always. From Internet Society, Mr. Winthrop Yu. Magandang umaga po. From NTC as well, we have Director Walsien. Magandang umaga po. Attorney Lopez as well. Attorney Gayas from NPC. Mr. Samaniego from Philippine Coalition of Consumer Welfare Incorporated. Attorney Moscoso from DICT. Magandang umaga. Our friends from the private sector, from Globe, we have Attorney Tubayan and Ms. Crisanto, yes, of course, Cioli. From Smart PLDT, we have Attorney Ibay and Mr. Esberto. Former USEC of DTI, Vic Dimagiba, currently from Laban Consumer Incorporated, which is a socio-civic consumer welfare organization. We have Ms. Baby Torres, of course, kasama rin natin in the last hearing, and Ms. Gigi Lapid, of course, who also presented in the previous hearing. Good morning and welcome again to the Senate. All right. So let me begin by talking to our government agencies. And let me ask them kung ano po yung mga updates at mga nagawa po nila tungkol sa issue na ito. And then we'll go to our telcos, and they can also give us updates regarding some of the system changes that they have undertaken. And then we'll end with the consumer groups, and see how we can move forward. Of course, if NTC wants to butt in at any time alongside DICT, they are more than happy to step into the discussion. And si Winthrop also, of course, later will ask any ideas from Internet Society as well. So let's begin with you, Sec Castelo. Ma'am, any updates regarding complaints for missing load with the DTI?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, and good morning to our guests. Just an update first on the technical working group that you instructed us to create. We have met with several government agencies involved in this. Well, this is one of the issues that we're going to discuss. And then we created the technical working group initially with the government agency so that we can firm up the government's position, and then we will meet with the private sector. We scheduled it on this week, sir. So we will include this in the agenda. But so far, for the Department of Trade and Industry Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau, we had 470 complaints on load and Wi-Fi related issues for 2017. For 2018, we have at least 126 complaints raised from January to April as of today, Mr. Chair. And 10% of this is on the vanishing load.
Okay.
So
yes, and may I ask you, Sir Castelo, if the 10% of your 470, so 47.
For this year, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
10% of 126.
Sorry, so 12.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and the 12 complaints, did they happen before March or after March?
It is a general number from January to April, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
so hindi mo pa siya disaggregated?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
But like I said in the previous hearing, when consumers come to the office or send a complaint on this matter, it is immediately resolved between the telco and the consumer,
All right.
Mr. Chair.
So in short, DTI is open for any consumer complaints, and
Yes,
there's an
Mr. Chair.
assurance that there will be a resolution at the soonest possible
Yes,
time.
Mr. Chair, as an assistance effort to NTC, Mr. Chair, because primarily NTC is the one in charge, but we continue to accept these complaints.
All right. With regard to the third-party suppliers that were either blacklisted or pinpointed as having had the programs which were questioned by the public and this committee, are there any updates on these third-party partners, no, of our telcos?
Mr. Chair, I'm just basing what I know from the report of Globe, but I am not sure on the position of SMART. I understand also from Attorney Castello the last time that they terminated services of the vast providers that were violating agreements with Globe. So I have no update from SMART, Mr.
All right,
Chair.
so we'll ask them later, no, on their end. But with regard to DTI, are there any action in terms of investigating if indeed there were fraudulent activities from these third-party partners of the telcos?
We do not have to wait for any complaint. So far, we have no complaint against any vast provider of the telcos, but we'll look into it, Mr. Chair.
All right. In the previous hearing, we requested the interagency to come up with a determination if those third-party providers were actually violating any laws, no? Meron kasing pinagkaiba yung hindi malinaw yung kanilang ginagawa at meron talagang maling ginagawa, which is nangloloko na talaga ng mga mobile subscribers natin. And there was a commitment from the telcos to really clean up their ranks, look at the processes, and find out if any of these processes were indeed fraudulent or not. So we would like at some point to hear from DTI, and of course you have the Consumer Protection Group, your position with regard to these third-party providers.
Mr. Chair, we apologize. We don't have that data now, but we commit to submit it in writing and present it in the next hearing.
All right. I don't want to wait for the next hearing, no. After your meeting, your TWG, and
Yes,
I hope you can take that up.
Mhm.
If formally, you can decide whether meron nang ginawang, yung pagkakamaling ginawa ay administrative ba ito o criminal na ito, no? So we'd like to hear from you. When is your TWG, Yusek Castello?
On April 26, Mr.
All
Chair.
right. So hopefully first week of May, we can expect in writing your position with regard to the third-party providers. Okay, because if it's come to a point that they have been let go by the telcos, then clearly there was something wrong that was happening, no? Now, kung ito ba ay nagawa ng isang fine, and DTI, if I'm not mistaken, with the Consumer Act, can actually give out fines, or if it necessitates filing a case, no? If it's fraudulent already. So, kung pwede po, Yusek, if we can find out from DTI your position on the matter.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we'll
Right.
do that.
Thank you. Dr. Cabarrios, any thoughts on itong pong nakaw load, no? Na pag-uusapan natin for the past few months already.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. For an update, in 2017, we received a total of 4,850 complaints, and there were only 167 complaints on vanishing, disappearing load, or an average of around 14 complaints a month. And on the issue of the one that was tackled last time on the complaint filed by FEAN, the Commission has revoked the registration, certificate of registration of gut deals, and that includes all, including that of SMART, so they cannot offer services anymore. And we have directed Globe to implement measures to ensure that similar incidents will not happen, and that they have to be implement strict measures on opting in. We have prepared draft of rules that will amend the MC that was issued in 2005, amended in 2009, and we are introducing another amendment for this year. Some of the measures that we are thinking there is to have at least two-step opting in, confirmation on opting in. The other one is the subscriber must receive the remaining balance every day, and that if they do not file complaints after 30 days, then the loan is considered okay. So that is what we call this will give also the telcos the right to consider all of these loads as legitimate loads after 30 days. And the other measure that we are thinking of there is also to ensure that the bus providers performs their duties to protect consumers. So we are opening public consultations on this within the week, and once we have completed public consultations, we will prepare the draft and call for a public hearing, Your Honor.
All right. That's good news, Depcon Cabarrios, na I'm quite happy with some of those statements. Tanungin ko lang po yung timeline natin dito. So, meron kayong consultations. Have you had consultations with the telcos already regarding these things that you had mentioned to us?
None yet, Your Honor.
None yet?
Yes.
Okay. So, this week, magkakaroon ho kayo ng consultation with the telcos. Maybe you can also include some of the consumer groups, no, in your consultations. Maybe the people here can already form part of, or maybe this can already be like a consultation, no? Mag-draft po kayo ng memorandum. Ang nasasabi ho ninyo, initially, kailangan ng 2 steps bago mag-opt-in ang isang subscriber sa isang value-added service. Pangalawa, kada araw, merong resibo, no? Merong nakukuhang load balance of the day, parang ganyan. And another kulatilya po doon na kung within 30 days, wala naman hong complaint, deemed used na yung, or deemed approved, may parang implicit approval yung subscriber dun po sa nakuha niyang notification. Is that correct? Yan po yung mga gusto po niyong i-implement sa inyong draft order?
Yes.
Sa inyong order pala, sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. And also on the opting out, the system should accept universal keywords like stop, end, cancel, unsubscribe, quit, etc.
Alright.
Lowercase or uppercase.
Okay. On that note, may I ask our telcos here to note the 3 items, no? Universal opt-out, daily load balance notification, and 2-step opt-in. And may I ask you later if you are already implementing this, planning to implement this, or maybe initially what you think of these suggestions, no? And Depcon, ang timeline ho nito, magko-consultation, ida-draft yan, magkakaroon ng public hearing. What month can we expect that this memorandum can come out of NTC?
The public hearing is, we are thinking of holding public hearing by the month of May, and if there are no major issues that will be raised, then the MC could be out by June or July.
All right, so June or July, no? And this is not binding to the telcos, your comments. This is just a temperature check with regard to some of the suggestions of, or some of the elements in the possible memorandum of NTC. So mamaya po, we'd like to get your comments on this also, no? All right, Attorney Chad?
Good morning, Your Honor. As mentioned by Yusek Castello a while ago, we have been working with the DTI and also NTC on the technical working group for telecommunications consumer protection. By way of updates, Your Honor, we are going to invite the Globe and Smart, the major telcos, to provide briefing on including the issue on the process by which the bus providers gain access to personal information of the subscribers. Among other issues, Your Honor, not just protection of prepaid load, no. We have included several issues on privacy also, and the paperless billing system, and also the holdover periods for phones and subscription contracts.
And Attorney Chad, so ibang mga issues na to, no? Meaning, pag nag-meeting kayo, iba't ibang mga issues kailangan i-tackle, kasama na po yung nakaulod doon, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. When NTC comes out with a memorandum, does it go through DICT or it's an independent body, no?
They consult us, Your Honor, when
Right.
they come out with the memorandum circulars.
Alright. And Depcom Cabarrios, yung inyong memorandum circular, ira-route nyo pa po yan sa mga agencies, correct, no?
Doon po sa consultation process, and after the public hearing, we will inform all the stakeholders of the final draft before it is promulgated, Your Honor.
Alright. I'm looking for action, no? Yun yung hinahanap natin dito. And we had our hearing in March or February? March 5? So we had our hearing March 5. It's practically a month already. Yung June, sa totoo lang, medyo matagal-tagal siya, no? So that's why we're hoping maybe some of these items can be adopted already by the telcos even before the memorandum. But I asked Dr. Cabarrios, this is an issue na palagay ko naman kaya natin itong masolve, no? We can actually solve this problem among the people here in the table, no? in this table. Kung pwede ho sana, huwag na nating hintayin yung June, no? Especially kung meron namang compliance na rin yung ating telcos. Maybe we don't have to wait for June already to come up with this memorandum circular. Again, isa po itong issue na marami hong taong namumroblema, and this is something we can solve as soon as possible, no? So we ask DTI, NTC, and DICT to talk again among yourselves. There's a TWG this week already. I'm assuming they're invited. Baka ho, pwede kayong maglagay ng accelerated timeline, no? Dito po sa circular na ito. Mukhang umaabot naman po tayo sa punto na lahat naman nag-agree na mayroong problema at kailangan pong solusyonan na yung issue na ito, no? And we can finally put an end to this to nakaw load. Attorney Gayas, you were not in were you in the last hearing?
No, I was.
Okay, so you're here for the first time. NPC is of course the Privacy Commission.
Yes.
Do you have anything to share for today on this topic or any related topics?
If, as mentioned by Attorney Moscoso earlier, if we will be invited to the meeting with regard to other issues with VAS, especially if they are also provided or given access to personal information aside from the nakaw load issue, then that will be the time when the Commission will come in, because our concern will be on the processing of personal data by these VAS entities.
Right. Yung value-added service providers natin, are they allowed to access the numbers? They are, because that's the way they work, no? The approval of VAS providers accessing numbers, is that found in the fine print of subscribers, or wala yun? Wala yung basehan. May basehan ba yun sa... May I ask anyone from Global Smart to answer?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. As a general rule, they have to enroll. It's not provided by the telcos. It's through their browsing habits that they come across VAS providers.
So, alam ko in the past, didn't we used to blast subscribers the option to opt in sa mga VAS? Hindi na ba ginagawa yun?
It's no longer done. In fact, it's done through ads by the VAS providers themselves. And it's through by clicking the ads of these providers.
Yes. And that's the one we want to correct na gagawin natin two-step, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So let me just be clear. Do the telcos provide numbers to your value-added service providers and partners?
No, we don't, Your Honor.
Okay. And from Smart? Attorney Ibay? For the record.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. No, we do not.
All right. And this changed after the Data Privacy Act was made into law. I think many years ago that was the practice, no, but not anymore. Is that correct, Attorney Tubayan?
Very correct, Mr. Chair. And as a matter of fact, some of these apps have cookies, what they call cookies, and by means of these cookies, they're able to trace the phone numbers. So I think one of the measures that we should be looked into is a cookie policy for ads.
Okay, cookie policy. Ibig sabihin nun, pag nag-click ako ng ad, by clicking the ad, I am allowing in quotation marks the third party to access my information, which is not allowed. And that's illegal, correct, Attorney Gayas? Is that illegal in the Data Privacy Act?
What is required by the Data Privacy Act is that consent should be specific.
Explicit?
Explicit, yes. So when the wording should be, the subscriber should agree explicitly to the processing or to the purpose for which the personal information, especially the number, should be used.
Right.
So if the consent is too general or it is a blanket consent, then that may be not in accordance with the Data Privacy Act.
So join our program, join our service is not enough, no? Kailangan malinaw na you are providing your personal information to X, Y, and Z company for the purpose of X, Y, and Z service at X pesos per day.
Yes.
Ganun dapat ka explicit, no? So that means that the current value-added service providers that we have, may deficiency yung kanilang ads, no? And are you doing an audit, Attorney Ibay, Attorney Tubayan, are you doing an audit of the value-added service ads, the ads of your VAS?
It's ongoing, Your Honor, together with this investigation on the Nakaw Load.
All right. And clearly, si DICT Deals, although maybe we can invite them if there's a next hearing para they can also air their side if they wish to. Si DICT Deals had ads which were not explicit. Is that correct? That's why you took them out.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. In fact, the ads that they had, I would even say, were a little misleading. Would you agree, Attorney Tubayan?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, there's a tendency for accidental
Clicking.
accidental opting in.
All right. Attorney Ibay, is it the same with Smart? Ganun din po ba yung ginagawa niyong proseso?
Mr. Chair, the policy for Smart is actually they have to clear their ad materials.
So you check the ad materials.
Yeah.
And does the National Privacy Commission, are you able to look at the ads of these value-added service providers? Or are you in a process of checking these ads?
We are not. As far as I know, we are not given the ads, or we do not clear the ads.
Yes,
first.
I'm not saying that you clear them, no, kasi wala naman process for them to
Yes,
clear. But are
yes.
you aware of these ads? Maybe in good faith, some of the telcos can share with you the ads of their value-added service providers, so you can check if they're
Yes.
compliant with the national, with the
Especially
Data Privacy Act.
if there are privacy implications on the ads, so we may clear or we may look at them if allowed by.
Or if they share it with you.
If they share it
Do
with
these
us.
ads go to NTC, Dr. Cabarrios? Is this under your responsibility, the value-added service providers ads?
Normally, Your Honor, DTI requires an endorsement from the Commission before ads are approved by DICT.
Even these ads? Even these pop-up, these are pop-up ads, no? Or they're ads embedded in the web pages, no? Pati po ba yan umaabot sa inyo, ma'am?
Sa web page mukhang hindi.
Hindi, no? Yusek Castelo, we don't approve ads, no? It's the traditional ads are approved by the ad board. And that's industry-led body, correct, no? And they're given the responsibility to check themselves. Pero pagdating sa mga ads online, is there any group that checks ads online, for example?
Not the TTI, Mr. Chair. We do approve sales promotions online, but not advertisements, Mr. Chair.
So currently, there is no one really looking at these ads. Yes?
It's still fall within ASC, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ad standards.
Does the ad board is now ad council, does the ad council look at these ads? Even yung value-added service provider ads? Yes, Attorney Iban?
Mr. Chair, as far as I know, they will only look at it if there are complainants. If someone actually lodges a complaint with ASC, then they take a look at it. These are considered out-of-the-home ads, and one of them are internet
Ads.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe the committee can file with the ASC regarding, since anyway we're having a hearing anyway, no, we can file with them, and they can start taking a look at these ads as well. Kasi iba kasi yung may ad ka na hindi totoo, iba yung ad na pag kinlik mo, kukunin siya ng information mo. No, meaning mas mabigat yung responsibility with these types of ads, no? Because again, any type of personal information sharing, Attorney Gayas, must be explicit, correct, no? Because sometimes you see that on your phone, nalalabas. Do you allow ganyan-ganyang app to access your contacts, your information, and you say allow or deny, no? But with some of these ads, we don't even know that they're sharing our information. A little bit off topic, but yung sa Facebook, they shared the information of their contacts, no? It wasn't just the personal information of the subscriber or the of the person, but they also shared their friends' information.
Yes.
Can those cookies also get the information of our contacts? It's not legal, but they can, no, with the cookie, right? Or hindi? Will the phones be able? Okay, any tech, Winthrop, will you be able to answer that?
The cookies themselves track a user, no? They don't necessarily get the information, whether it's the name or phone number. Also, ads, in-browser ads will normally not be able to gather more information, except, for example, in the case of if you have multiple tabs open in a browser, sometimes the site you go to can see the other site also, which is dangerous.
No, but if I'm not mistaken, some of those ads, they saw the telephone number.
Okay, it depends kasi I think instead of ads, we should be concentrated on, for example, if it's an app on your phone. I think you referred to that earlier.
No, these are ads, no? These are web pages with ads. I mean, I have some screen caps here also. Lumalabas to when you browse, and when you click it, it signals to the value-added service provider that you're opting in. Am I correct in that process, no? So, ibig sabihin nun, pag kinlik mo siya, nakikita rin yung telephone number mo.
That's a bit difficult. No? The ad would have to see the telephone number through the browser. So it depends if the browser, the ad itself? No.
No, it's the ad itself, no? Attorney, can you help us here?
It would have to be an ad.
Yes, it's the ad itself, and because it's tracked, and I think aside from the number, the IP address itself, because you're using Wi-Fi or data, they can track, so they can send more apps and other information that you're looking for.
No, but may link yan to your telephone number, because you'll get a notice, or you clicked on this is worth $250 per day or whatever. So may link ka between the web page ad and your cell phone number. There's a link. Kasi Winthrop is saying walang link, but there's a link. There is, no? Yes. Attorney, are you a legal guy or a tech guy? You're more of a legal guy, no? DepCom, kayo po mas engineer kayo ng DepCom. Tama, di ba? Kapag kiniklik mo yung web page, it does link to your telephone number.
If you're using a mobile phone and accessing the web, it may be,
Yes.
it's possible that the mobile number can be seen.
Oh, see? It can be seen because that's the issue here eh. Because people mistakenly or were misled into clicking the ads and eventually binawasan yung cellphone nila, diba? Yung cellphone load nila. So meron siyang link somewhere there. No? But what we're saying is, Attorney Gayas is saying na pag hindi explicit na binibigay mo yung cellphone number mo, hindi nila pwedeng kunin yung cellphone number mo. No? So now the question is, are these ads compliant or not? And what we're saying is, even these ads can be under the rules of the ad board, of the ad council, which I guess we can follow up at some point. No? Okay, so at this point, maybe you can ask Globe to share their presentation. They have a short presentation with regard to the steps that they have taken since our last hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning, Wally.
So we would just like to share that based on the requests earlier on the universal opt-out, it's something that we've already done. So we've done it last March 16 where we completed the Globe system refresh. This is true for all, whether you're postpaid or you're prepaid. So we've actually backed our message with real strong action on this one. And with regards to the VAS charges alerts, that's something that we're targeting to be done by the fourth quarter of the year, owing to the fact that we had to scope it out first and do some system changes and system upgrades. So the other ask was the two-step verification. So in terms of the two-step verification, we actually improved on the two-step verification and rather did it a three-step verification. So first, the customer clicks on the digital ad, as we were discussing earlier, and then he clicks again to confirm the VAS subscription. So the third step is that the customer receives an SMS with a personal identification number, or the PIN. So it's like a mobile PIN, just similar to what bank transactions do, in terms of that really secures your transaction. Then the customer goes back to the page to enter the PIN. So in this process, you're going to see that the customer really wants the product or the service. Okay? And then the final step is that the customer begins the VAS subscription and receives another SMS confirmation that he is really opted in. So this is the current experience of our customers today. Yes. Now, in terms of our future, we'd like to do another step forward by making the customer again reply yes to the confirmation before again getting into the service. So that becomes a four-step verification, so to speak. So if you take a look at the Load Watch, insofar as Globe is concerned, we have already introduced Load Watch as a product or as a service to our prepaid customers many years ago. But then again, at the time, we were only taking a view of the balances when you do voice or SMS service. But now that there is VAS content, we're actually adding to the VAS, to the service, the VAS content. So this is the request earlier in terms of receipt, how you're going to take a look at your balance when you're already opted in to your VAS content. And you see down there, you're going to see that whenever you're verified and you've confirmed that you want the service, you're going to get a message to tell you how much load balance you have once you have enrolled onto the service and start using the service. So that is just an enhancement of our existing Load Watch. And this is something that we are hoping that we can beg your indulgence on to have it effected by December or the fourth quarter of the year.
that's really up to NTC, no? Meaning kung maglalabas sila ng circular by June or July, then obviously you'll have X months to implement it. But just to reiterate, yung tatlong nabanggit ho ni Dr. Cabarros, una was a two-step process, and in fact, I think we're doing a 3 or 4-step process.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
Chairman.
siguro naman talagang gusto mo talaga yung app na yan, di ba? Kung 4 na beses ka, oo. Yung pangalawa po, yung daily notification. My suggestion and the committee suggestion, and hopefully this will come out of the circular of NTC, is a daily notification of your load balance. To be frank, honestly ho, yung subscriber kasi yung hihingi pa ng information, there's always confusion, may bayad ba yan o wala, and I think the best is really a daily notification, and obviously that's free of charge, no? So maybe this will be something that NTC will discuss with you at some point. Ano nga ho yung pangatlong suggestion?
Universal opt-out.
Universal opt-out. Do you have a universal opt-out already?
Nag-refresh na po kami, sir.
That's
so we opted them out, and obviously whenever you do the service, there's always that portion by which you can always opt out.
Okay. The request, I think, of NTC is a master opt-out of all of your value-added services. Is that correct, Dr. Cabarros?
We have words that the system should be able to acknowledge, like stop and
No, on a per service level or on all your value-added services?
per service.
Okay. Kung per service, meron na ho kayo niyan, no?
Meron na. Yes, sir.
You have it already.
We have that already.
Alright, so meron na silang opt-out. Then you're already currently doing the two-step process. Yung pangatlo na lang is maybe si load watch can be more purposive, meaning a subscriber receives, my suggestion is every day, maybe at a certain time of the day,
Yes.
para alam niya kung ano yung load niya.
Yes.
And Dr. Cabarros also mentioned na kung lumipas ang 30 days na wala namang complaint, then kumbaga parang meron kang period that you can raise a complaint, no? I'm not sure about the legal basis of that DEPCON, but I think that will also protect the purpose, no? For example, and everybody will be more active and more vigilant in terms of raising complaints right away, no? So that's our suggestion, no? Hopefully that memorandum can come out sooner, no, than later, no? Thank you po, Ms. Yoli. Salamat po sa presentation. Attorney Iba or Sermon?
Just a quick response, Mr. Chairman. First of all, regarding the two-step authentication, or rather confirmation, that's already in place. We require a positive confirmation of any application for a VAS service.
Is it a two-step? Do you do it 2 times?
2 steps.
Right.
It's a 2-step process. And the questions are posed to the customer is very clear.
All right.
There's no room for ambiguities as to what he or she is signing up for.
All right. Okay.
Number 1. Number 2, we do have a stop all service feature already in place.
Master opt-out of all of your value-added services.
You can opt out to all with a single command.
All right.
Okay. And thirdly, what we have in place at the moment, Mr. Chairman, is a service that that enables the customer to check for free his balance at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, it's a subscriber-initiated service. Before this hearing, we were having a discussion internally as to whether we could add a feature to that service, in the sense that a customer can ask for a daily update at the time of his choosing. So that's something we'll have to take a look at technically.
All right.
But that's one of the options that we could to enhance that particular feature. So that's the state of the art for us at this point in time.
All right. Thank you, Mon. I would suggest, and I think this will also be the subject of the memorandum of NTC, is that we have those daily notifications now. If the subscriber wants to opt out of getting a daily notification of their balance, then that's their choice. But as a subscriber, why would I not want to receive a text kung magkano yung natitira sa load wallet ko? I think it's I have doubts if anyone will really opt out of that, no? So baka pwedeng the NTC can come out with a circular saying that the telcos can provide a free service where subscribers can receive a daily notification of their load balance, such that kung merong issue dun sa load balance na yun, then they can also go through the proper complaint system, either through the telco processes or through NTC or even DTI. I think that will solve a lot of our problems, no? At agad-agad, si Miss Baby, naalala ko yung kwento niya na nasa abroad pa siya at nawawala yung load niya. Kung araw-araw may natatanggap kayo, kaagad-agad po, pwede rin kayong mag-complain kaagad, no? Sige po, Miss
Sir,
Baby.
ngayon, pwede po bang yung load watch? Yung pong, kasi nangyari na naman po sa akin nung isang araw, yung load watch po, halimbawa po, may 50 pesos akong niload. Ngayon po, yan, nag-i-screen lang po siya, nagpa-pop out lang siya, maya-maya wala na siya, kaya minsan, hindi po nakalagay sa, hindi siya naka, sa, inbox po. Kumbaga nagpapakita lang siya bigla, load watch, balance, ganun, 5 pesos. Nagtataka ako na wala agad po yung load ko, ito na naman po.
Wait pa, ikaw lang ha? Hapon lang to ha? Sige ho, you're in Globe, no?
Yeah.
Globe ho kayo?
Globe and Smart.
And Smart, pero si Load Watch is Globe, no?
Yeah.
Hindi mo ba text yun? It's a text, right?
Hindi po siya text.
Usually, it's usually a text message that we send. As to the pop-up, we'll have to check that. We're not...
No, it's a simple question. When you release the Load Watch updates, is it through an SMS or through a broadcast message?
Normally through an SMS.
If I may add, I think it's when you consume data that it pops up. It's not, I think it's like, it doesn't go into the inbox. It becomes like on your home screen. So I don't know what you call it, but I think it's an advisory after you use data.
Parang anino lang siya na nagsasabi na yun na yung load balance nyo. Tapos hindi naman siya indicate siya sa inbox.
Miss Baby, naggumamit po ba kayo ng data nung panahon mo? Sa data 1?
Apo, data.
Okay. Sige, attorney, maybe you wish to respond.
We need to adjust, but I think the most important thing is nakuha ng subscriber yung notification,
Nabasa ko po, pero hindi po siya naka-indicate dito sa loob ng cellphone. Hindi po siya nag-pop out na sa inbox na yun yung load balance ko na lang.
Nawala ba? Nawala rin?
Wala po. Bigla po talaga siya nawawala kahit noon pa po.
Sige po, we will
the suggestion here to our telco partners here is sa inbox po siya pumasok para nasa-save natin. Kasi yung point nung humihingi tayo ng resibo, wala namang nasa-save na information, no? So, any of these initiatives should be probably through SMS kasi yun yung natatago natin at nakikip natin, no? Miss Baby, I think yung nabanggit ko ni Miss Gigi, sa data kayo gumamit, no? And nagtaka kayo na ang bilis na wala nung 50 pesos ninyo? O 5 pesos po ba? Magkano ho?
50 pesos, 5 piso na nga lang po yung natira doon sa 50 pesos.
So 45, gaano ho katagal? Isang oras o 2 oras?
Wala po eh.
Hindi naman ganun kabilis na.
30 minutes, ganun sir.
We will have that check,
yeah.
Kasi baka yung tumatakbo yung time volume usage kaya mas mabilis instead of time.
I see.
Excuse me po. Kasi minsan po, pag nagpa-load kayo, Your Honor, alam mo, nagpa-load kayo ng 50 pesos, hindi rin po pumapasok sa inbox nyo, yung pala, may load ka na. Kaya tapos, kinakain na lang po bigla ng hindi po siya pumapasok talaga. Halimbawa, nagpa-load po kayo, dapat meron pong babalik na
may notification kayo na may pumasok na load.
Na load. Kaya akala ko wala po akong load. Maya-maya, nung kasi nagpa-load po ako ng 50 pesos, tapos akala ko po hindi pumasok. Maya-maya po, nung gumamit ako ng data, naubos na yung 50 pesos. Nag-load watch na sa akin na your load balance is 5 pesos.
Okay. Tanong ko, nung nakita niyo po na your load watch is 5 pesos, naisipan niyo bang tumawag dun sa kanilang operator para alamin kung bakit po 45 pesos yung nawala agad-agad?
Kasi sir, pag 5 pesos lang po yung load nyo, hindi kayo makakatawag sa kailangan 10 pesos po. Sinasabi naman nila sa sa operator na if you have a 10 pesos remaining balance, you can call Ganun po yung sinasabi nila lagi.
I have a question, no? Napag-usapan na natin to last time. Yung pagtawag sa mga operators natin, 888 and 211, is that, kailangan ba may 10 piso ka na load or kahit 0 pesos yan, pwede kang tumawag? Ang alam ko, kahit 0 yan, di ba?
Kahit 0 pa, pwedeng tumawag.
Hindi po, sir.
Hindi, no?
Opo.
Kayo po sa Smart, Mr.
No load
Sir.
is required, Your Honor.
No load is required. May load pa kayo, baka gusto yung tawagan mo, testingin natin. Wala na ka ng load. Ang alam ko kasi sa NTC, kahit 0 yan, basta complaints, di ba? Pwede kayong tumawag.
Yes, Your Honor, kasi libre naman yung pagtawag.
Oo. So, Globe's official position is kahit 0 yan, pwede kang tumawag. Oo.
Tuloy ang kwentuhan.
211 higawan.
Nakakapag-load sa ngayon.
221.
221 ba o 211? 211 o, pakitry ho natin.
Sorry. Sige lang po.
Ay, sorry, what is the correct number to call? 211, di ba?
Your account to make this call. Mag-reload at mag-register sa promos para tuloy-tuloy ang kwentuhan. Kung di pa muna makapag-load sa ngayon, merong load promos na pwedeng i-enjoy. Dial star 1.
Yan po yung kinatatakutan namin na mangyari po lagi. Kasi po, nakailan na kami ng load, magpapaload po uli kami. Sabi namin, ano ba yan? Sabi, kaya po yung mga subscriber, natatakot na pong, kaya ang ginagawa po namin, tinatapon na po namin yung SIM card namin.
Nagbabago ng SIM, di ba? Hindi, for the record, ano ho yung sinabi ng operator? Hindi ko rin kasi...
Yes, sir.
Hindi, ang sinabi ho, Attorney Vic, no? Katabi naman kayo?
Sorry, you do not have enough load in your account to make
Yun.
this call. Mag-reload at mag-register sa promos para tuloy-tuloy ang kwentuhan.
Sige ho.
Di pa muna
Maybe you can check, somebody from Globe can check her phone also, just to confirm na 211 nga yung tinatawagan nila. Oo. Thank you, Miss Baby. Salamat, ha. Sige, sir. Mukha kayong technical person dyan sa likod. Kayo po ba ang technical person? Paki-check lang ho kung tama nga yan. Ano. So, tama, no? Tama. Okay. So, and for the record, magkano natitira yung load, Miss Baby? May 5 pesos pa kayo? Sige. Okay. So, we can confirm, no, na hindi nga siya nakatawag. Can we confirm that, sir? We can confirm hindi nga siya nakatawag with the... Can you check her load kung magkano po yung load niya? Ano ba yung keyword na tama? I'm really hoping na mukhang may pwede pa pala tayo dito.
If I may, Your Honor.
3 pesos. Okay.
Yun na po, sir, pag tumawag kayo, mababawasan kayo ng piso or 2 pesos. 5 pesos to, sir, kasi nagpaload ako ngayon lang ng 100 kasi para maka-go only 95 ako Di may 5 pesos, sir. Ngayon, nabawasan ako ng 2 pesos kasi tumawag ako
Piso ba yan? Di ba libo dapat yan?
Kahit hindi nag-connect, may...
Sige nga, tumawag na kayo sa tumawag kung mababawasan talaga. Tingnan natin. Piso. Sige, check mo nga. Let's check it.
If I may, Chairman Bam, sandali lang.
Sige.
In that follow-up, that's really yung nangyayari on the ground.
Yes.
Again, may paborito akong security na binibigyan akong parking dito. Si Cherry Aguilar, dito sa Senado. Sir, ito ba yung sa prepaid load na naman? Oh, may nangyari na ba dyan? Sabi ko, sandali, meron doon solusyon Okay. Kasi sir, pinainan na naman ako
dito siya sa PWD, yung guard na si Miss Cherry Aguilar. Sana naman sir may mangyari pa noong pag 2009 ni Enrile, walang nangyayari. Sabi ko baka ngayon, kasi may solusyon. Pero yung nga, yung sinabi ni Chairman Bam, ang kailangan natin action. So yun, yan ang nangyayari. Hindi lang siya, pati yung guard na pagpasok o ganun din. Kasi interesado lahat biktima, mayaman o mahirap. Biktima dito sa nakaw na load.
Alright, salamat po, Rick. So, nabawasan ho ba sa tawag ulit? O hindi naman? Magkano na lang? Piso na lang? Ba't ganun? Okay. Sige ho. So, mukhang may isa pa tayong hearing dito, ano? Sige. Can we ask our friends from, that was your Globe line or your Smart line, no? Your Globe line. So, can we ask our friends from Globe to look into this? Because, sa pagkakaalam ko po, and tama ho ba po, kapag complaint, dapat libre. Pag hindi ka nakakonect, dapat mo nang binabawas sa'yo, no?
Customer service yun, dapat libre siya.
Okay. And the policy of Globe, if I'm not mistaken, is dapat libre yan. Can we check it, attorney, for the record?
Yes, for the record, it's free. It's supposed to be free. And we take note of the observation of our subscriber here and act accordingly.
Okay. Ms. Gigi, you have anything to add? Ms. Baby, so salamat po sa mga na-share po ninyo. And I guess we will have a next hearing. Maybe after your MC is out, we can look at the MC again, Depcom Cabarrios, no? Sana naman po, huwag natin pabutin ng July. Baka by end of May or June, we can already have another hearing. Para lang nakikita natin may progreso po itong mga hearings natin, no? So, Ms. Baby, salamat po, no? Thank you. Actionan po yan. Ms. Gigi, you have anything to add?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I actually have a presentation. Medyo opposite siya sa nangyayari kay Miss Baby. So, if hers is the nightmare, mine is the fairy tale. So,
Sige po, let's see that. Keep it to maybe 5 minutes, please.
okay, briefly lang. In a nutshell, if the results for Miss Baby were negative, mine were super positive. So, here I just brought up lang what was discussed last hearing. So dito yung complaint ko. So ayan yung stance ko before everything. So next. So yeah, ito yung mga suggestions ni Ms. Feyan. I just brought it up again here. Tapos ngayon, si Globe naman, based on my experience, they were very proactive in reaching out to me. So their executive escalation team met up with me, and then they shared with me what happened to my disappearing load. So ba't parang na-skip siya? Sige, ito na lang, I think. Ayan. Ano naman, may actions na ginawa si Globe. So, ito yung some of these suggestions were explained to me by a CSR. I also tried calling their CSR to see if na recoach nila yung mga CSR nila. So, ang suggestions na bigay sa akin was to download these certain apps provided by Globe. Namely, Globe Switch, which monitors your data usage and also subscribes you to, well, hindi siya automatic, but it gives you the option to subscribe to certain apps. Tapos yung G services, which is like, it also monitors your load in real time. And then, ito, na-discover ko lang on my own, that you can actually make an account with Globe. And then through Globe, you can also track your promos, you can track your data usage, you can track your whatever happens to your account. So ito yung mga nangyari. So March 10, I received the system refresh advisory. So, next. Tapos the executive escalation team met up with me, and they showed me the record of my charges. Hindi kami same ni Fayan. So, the one that was eating up my load was, I think, You Daily. It was a different kind of VAS subscriber. So, hindi ganun kataas yung kinakain sa akin. It amounted to 180. So for me, yung VAS, yung opt-out, which I'm really grateful na nangyari. Although I can only speak for myself, so parang medyo yung kay Miss Baby hindi siya na-resolve, yung sa akin na-resolve. So ayun, I think Globe should be able to inform its subscribers more. Like, kasi ako proactively, I looked for the solutions also. So ayun. Moving forward, I also have some proposed solutions that I think would be greatly beneficial for all the subscribers. Like, for instance, an advisory page for all the load-related, data-related, account-related advisories. Because what I noticed with the Globe Facebook pages, or I don't have Twitter kasi, so I only rely on Facebook. So what I noticed is nasa-swamp yung mga information with events or promos or other stuff that I think maybe hindi siya ganun relevant for people who want to find out about their load. Like, example, I see some event postings there, like may concert, whatever. Tapos may ang dami nagko-complain dun sa thread na yun. So parang I think they need the proper venue to air out their complaints. Tapos I also think I'm grateful also that there's the Globe account, but I don't think a lot of people know this. Yung they can make an online account similar to how credit card works, diba? You can track your charges, or you have like a statement. Tapos I think super helpful yung dashboard ng Globe, yung Globe online account, because it shows you exactly what promos you're subscribed to. So I don't know if a lot of people know about this. Ayun lang, parang na-surprise din ako dun sa sharing news, baby, because I've never really experienced it kasi lagi may load. Pero yun nga, parang it's good to know that it happens. So parang nakaka-frustrate din naman. I can totally sympathize with her. And what I do kasi is, yun, parang, I also noticed there were, yung sa, sorry, parang, sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say.
In front ninanakawan yan, kumbaga, maraming ninanakawan.
One second, ha? Kasi hindi kayo expect magtanong sa isa't isa. What was your question, Gigi?
Yung sa 211 naman kasi, ayun, I think na-resolve naman siya for me, but I was also surprised that you need the load. You need load to call them. So, ayun, na-surprise ako doon.
Well,
Mr. Chair.
That's another issue, but I think it's also an important issue that needs to be addressed, because yung alam ng ating heads dito ng Globe is that dapat pwede ka tumawag kahit wala kang load, no? So this is an issue that they really need to look at and fix. And si Miss Baby at yung opisina namin at yung committee, check natin yan, no? Hanggang maayos, no? And they're committing, Attorney Tubayan, no? You have any response to that, yung kailangan mo ng load para tumawag sa complaint service? Just for the record, no?
For the record, we are as surprised as Gigi on what happened to Baby. But we take note of the complaint of Baby, and we will try to resolve it very soon.
Thank you. So, hindi mo natin papakawalan po yan, no, until that's resolved. Much like this issue, no, we really will do our best to make sure na meron pong marating itong mga hearing natin. I think to be honest, I think the circular is very important na pag lumabas na and there seems to be general compliance already. I think mahalaga po yun, no? Especially yung resibo araw-araw dun sa ating load balance. Itong issue na ito ay iba, pero kailangan ring maresolba, no? Sige po, Ms. Gigi, you can finish your statement.
So as a whole, I think, well, definitely may nagawa si Globe. Yun lang, I keep seeing a lot of complaints pa rin. So may mga nagme-message din sa akin na parang, I urge them to call 211, pero hindi ko nga alam kung may load sila or what. But, ayun, I think Globe should also be clear as to how one can get reimbursed. Kasi medyo malabo pa rin din yung part na yun because it's not in my presentation but I got word from Fayan that her uncle was reimbursed. I think apparently he was also subscribed to Got Deals. That's why he was reimbursed without request. Kasi from what I know is you have to request. Correct me na lang if I'm wrong, but you have to request for Globe to check your account. But apparently, I think the ones that were subscribed to Got Deals, kasi malaki yung nakaltas sa kanila, so they were the ones who were automatically reimbursed.
Yes, Ms. Yoli?
Well, that was a proactive action on our part. So, in terms of the Got Deals issue, we really did reimburse because it's only doing what's right for the customer. Bakit pa namin hintayin complain, right? Now, insofar as the NTC memorandum is concerned, it's clear you have to do that within a 30-day under the business as usual. Because the thing with Got Deals, it wasn't business as usual. So that's what we did. And I think that our customers deserved it because we have to keep their trust and they have to know that we're really looking after them.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Ms. Yoli. Are you finished, Ms. Gigi? Last
na lang siguro, yun nga, I guess, siguro better if pwedeng i-clara na lang the procedure or like more advisories, more information because I think majority of the subscribers really are in the dark. So they just keep complaining but there's no proper venue for them to air out their complaints or if it gets to maybe to the CSRs baka, but I do appreciate that you've recoached your CSRs. I mean based on the one that I talked to. Yun lang, on a greater scale I think dapat mas klaro. Like I appreciate the whole the online account and all the apps but still I think wala rin use yun kung hindi alam ng subscribers na there's such a thing as these apps. They won't know that they have they have ways, the powers in their hands, kumbaga. So parang I urge you to probably disseminate more information.
Are those apps zero-rated also? Or you have to pay for data para ma-access mo yung apps?
Supposedly, it's zero-rated.
Especially when you're on Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Alright. So, but if you're on mobile data, it will consume your mobile data, no? Okay. So, just to be clear, meron namang keywords to find out your balance. And sending SMS keywords is free. Correct? Yeah. So, there's a free way to do it and there's an online way to do it na meron pa rin cost dun sa mobile data mo.
Yeah, if you use mobile data or if makakaltasan talaga siya.
Okay. Winthrop, would you have anything to add?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think with these developments, now especially hearing about the upcoming public hearings by NTC regarding the memorandum circular, good idea would be to take the best practices of both the telcos, what they're already contemplating, no? So, for example, from Globe, we can take the fourth step opt-in authentication plus something like load watch. Every time there's a deduction from your load wallet, except siguro wag na lang yung text because it would be difficult to get a notification per text. No? But for call data and for app enrollments, then perhaps you can have a notification there. And what I'm saying is that we could possibly include this already in NTC's MC, no? Anticipating the implementation of all these features by, as they say, December, no? Or hopefully sooner. So from Globe, multi-step authentication and the notifications whenever there's a deduction from the load wallet, I particularly like Smart's feature of a universal opt-out, your one keyword. And just to note, when I do specific opt-outs, binabawasan ako ng 250. which is not supposed to be the case, no? So that's one of those things that
Ang
we
opt-
shouldn't-
1 second, Wilkip. Ang opt-out ho, dapat libre rin, no? Okay. So, can we also make that clear? It's free. Were you referring to Globe or Smart Globe also? So, dapat yung opt-out libre.
Dapat yung text, yeah.
All the text for services, whether opting in or opting out, should be free.
Should be free.
Is that correct, Guapcom Cabarrios?
Yes, Your Honor, it should be free.
Is that found in a circular already, or that's just industry practice?
I think it is in the
A previous circular?
2009.
Okay, maybe you need to reiterate it in your new circular, which hopefully will come out by June or July, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, Winters.
Speaking of the circular, I think we should also clarify, because during this hearing, Mr. Chairman, we've been referring to, let's say, VAS providers, third-party providers, but there are also service providers from within the telcos, or there are third-party service providers that are published by the telcos. So it should be made clear siguro, DEPCOM EGAY in the MC, that the rules apply to all service providers, no, and app providers. So I think it's good that if we can get all of these into one document, yun hopefully yung lalabas na memorandum circular ng NTC and everybody agrees on it, then we won't have another hearing about this in 2 years' time or so, no? One final thing. Earlier, regarding data privacy, I still don't think you can actually get a telephone number from a cookie, but just to make a point, no, probably the most data intrusive, the data mining will occur if there's an app. Okay, so that might be what NPC will have to look at, the apps, rather than just the ads. No, the ads I think would be more, either ad board or DTI's thing rather than NPC. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Alright, meron pa pong gusto magsalita, si Rick. Anyone else? Alright, Rick, go ahead.
Well, unang-una, ang masasabi ko lang po, let us be honest with ourselves. Hindi lang ito ginanap yung pandinig na ngayon lang. 10 taon na ito na nabibiktima, mayaman at mahirap. Pero wala ba na-resolve ba? Since 2009 nung tinawag ni Senator Enrile. January 2018, ang expiration load i-extend na ng 1 year. Okay? Nakiusap ang telcos. January 2018 2009 ito na pinandinig ni JPE. Sabi sa July. Ngayon, ang kaibigan natin si Deputy Commissioner na nung binidinig namin ito, director pa lang na-promote siya, natutuwa naman ako. Pero masakit sa akin, isang buwan nang mahigit, hindi pala niya tinatawag pa ang telcos para i-resolve pa itong prepaid. Sinabi niyo po yan, Chairman. Ngayon, ang iniisip ko lang po, narinig po natin si Gigi, who is high-tech. Yung iba hindi naiintindihan yan, yung mga security, tsaka dashboard, optic. Hindi nila alam yun dahil 10 peso lang 20 pesos, 50 pesos. At klaro rin, na sinabi ng telcos kanina, libre. Okay? Yung isang masa, na sinabi niya kanina, kinainan siya ng 5 piso. 2 piso na lang yun. Yun ho ang nangyayari sa milyon Pilipino. Huwag na tayong umikot, pati cameraman, pati yung nagseserve sa atin. Ang kailangan ho natin yung totoong aksyon. Klaro na binanggit ng telcos yun na libre. Pero kinainan siya. Now, kanina, pagdating ko, nagkausap kami ni Gigi Lapid. Sabi niya, sir, tinawagan ho ba kayo ng loop? Inayos ba kayo ng loop? May tumawag sa inyo, bakit? Kasi yung pinsan ko, tigat-loop. Ngayon sinabi niya, isang team ang pupunta sa kanya para ayusin siya. Pero meron bang nag-ayos kay baby? Sa gwardiya o sa iba? Kasi malamang, well, swerte ka, Miss Gigi Lapid, na binigyan ka ng panahon. 2 beses mo umattend pa lang ngayon. Kami ho, 2007 pa. Si Chairman Liel Cordoba ng NTC, maswerte ho hanggang ngayon, Chairman pa rin. Pero, wag na tayo magbulaan, totoo yun. Kawawa naman ng mga sambayanan. Ano ba mangyayari? Tuwing malapit lang ang eleksyon, 2009 yung tinawag ng JPE. 3 months lang. Natapos na, wala na. 2018 sumunod. Ngayon, gusto pa ni Deputy Barrios na June extend ng July. Baka naman magpa-extend naman expiration ng July. At, delikado, Chairman, pag nakakuha na naman sila ng korte, ng PRO, ako ho nalalaman ko lahat to. Maawa. Magpapatuto tayo kasi gagawa ko sila ng paraan niyo. After 6 months, mawawala na naman ako. Twitter down. Records would show. Ilan mo? Tayo ni Senator Cynthia Villar, Mig Subiri, noon Mar Rojas, ang chairman ng Trade and Industry. Pero naging agresibo si Senator Bam Aquino. He used to be the chair of the Committee on Trade and Industry. Hanggang Science and Technology, tinatawag niya. This should be a controversial case. Dapat to lahat ng senator natin nandito niya. Dahil kasi milyon mas Gigi Lapid ang apektado. Hindi na naintindihan. Optik. Hindi na naintindihan. So, baby, milyon yung baby ang nakaaramdam ito. So, yun po, sana hindi natapos to. I have all records. Hindi na ako humingi ng certificate of attendance eh. Nag-aabon ako ng pera eh. Dito eh. Humingi na ako ng tulong kay Senator Bam. Nagagaling ko sa Cagayan minsan. So, yun lang po. Be honest para sa bayanan.
Well, thank you, Rick. No? And our commitment naman ay hindi natin titigilan to hanggang ma-resolve. Now, if I'm not mistaken, yung expiration loan na naging subject of the 2009 hearings, sabi ninyo na by July, it will be implemented by June?
July 5 o.
July 5 of this year. Meron na ho bang nakafile na TRO o kahit ano mang ganyan? Wala naman ho, di ba?
Wala ho.
Okay, so baka magandang mag-hearing lang tayo ng July para July 5, no? Para malaman din ho natin. Because sa totoo lang, yung pag-extend to 1 year or 3 years, that's really a big one po yan. And it's time has come already. So, maganda hong tampawan din yan. Itong memorandum circular ninyo dito sa transparency pagdating sa load, malaking bagay rin po yan. And again, I'm hoping we can come out with that before July. No? Sana ho, pagbalik natin ng maybe end of May, pwede na ho natin ma-resolve. Anyway, mukhang cooperative naman po yung ating telcos pagdating sa issue na yan. And then, maybe this is a final message. I hope that our friends from Globe can talk to Miss Baby already regarding itong pagtawag sa complaint service because it's important na libre po yun. Ano ho ba yan? Is that part of a memorandum circular.com or just an industry practice na libre yung mga pagtawag sa complaint services sa ating CSR?
May mga circulars na nagsasabi na it should be free.
Alright, so we can double check that and I hope we can get a response na very soon, maybe within a week or two, we can already hear a proper response from Global Smart about this. No? You want to say something, Attorney Tubayan?
We will take action on the predicament of Miss Baby here.
Action, I think that's an important word, no? And yun po yung hinahanap natin dito. Nabanggit na rin ito ni Rick na ang hinahanap ng tao, action, no? We can talk as much as we want, but at the end of the day, ang tanong, meron bang nangyari o wala? Alam ko ho, yung issue na ito, mabigat sa maraming tao, we have to really reach the conclusion, which is really find some reforms that we can show to the people na merong saysay po mga hearings natin at hindi naman nawawala yung kanilang mga hinaing rin, no? And of course, a lot of the responsibility falls upon the shoulders of NTC, no, as the main body that's responsible for many of these, no? And of course, they're attached now to DICT, if I'm not mistaken, and of course, DTI pagdating sa consumer complaints. Alam ko naman po na gusto nyo ring ma-resolve ang issue na to. Ang request ko lang is bilis-bilisan natin. Because a month has passed. In fairness, there's been a lot of action, there's been a lot of things that have happened, but what we do want to see is something black and white sa ating mga memorandum para pag nakalagay na po doon, order na po yan. Hindi lang yan recommendation or suggestion na pakiusap, talagang order na po yan mula sa ating gobyerno. Yun po yung hinahanap natin. So, with that, let me thank everyone. I'm going to suspend the hearing. I think we all need to talk to each other also after to resolve a lot of these issues. At hopefully po, sa mga susunod na linggo, makita natin yung aksyon na hinahanap ng taong bayan. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much.